And our top focus, India are 217 runs away from a record fourth ICC Under-19 World Cup title after keeping Australia in check in the final at the Mount Maunganui in New Zealand. So that's the latest that we are getting in from the ICC World Cup final. India need 217 runs to win the Under-19 World Cup. Ishan Porel, 2 wickets. Anukul Roy has also taken 2 wickets. Shiva Singh and K. Nagarkoti, all bowlers performing well there, keeping the Australian run rate at minimal and restricting Australia to 216 in 47.2 overs. And India need 217 runs to clinch another historic Under-19 World Cup title. The Australia Under-19s won the toss and elected to bat first in the summit clash between the two most successful sides in the tournament's history. But a disciplined bowling effort from the Indian Colts has kept them down a below par total. Jonathan Merlo was the only Aussie batsman to pass 50 as they were bowled out for 216 in the 48th over. India had contributions across the board. 4 different bowlers picked up 2 wickets apiece for the Rahul Dravid coach side. For more on this, I'm joined by sports correspondent Yash on this broadcast. Good morning, Yash. India, look, fair chances. How do you see India's chances in this World Cup final?
Good morning, Archana. It looks like a bright start to the Indian morning, frankly. 217 in a World Cup final looks like an under par total. It would be foolish to say that it's over because obviously it remains a game of uncertainties, doesn't it? But yes, if you go by form, once Australia won the toss, that was actually a big plus for the Aussies. You typically want to bat first in big games and post a bit of a total because that sets a different kind of pressure on the team chasing in any big game. But if you told the Indian Under-19s that the target they'll have in front of them will be below 220, they would have gladly accepted it. And that is why you've got to favour India's chances heading into the second innings.
Right, yes, and much before this final, the Australian captain and the Aussies have kind of maintained that Indians are not the favourite side this time. But the way we've seen how, Indian bowlers restricted the Australian team and, in 47.2 overs, it seems that the bowling has kind of shown for India in this particular match.
Yes, Archana, going to the point you raised initially, it's an Aussie penchant, isn't it? Be it senior cricket or junior cricket. The one thing that players do very well is talk. They are better media trained, let's say, than most other players across the world. But, frankly speaking, this is an Indian team which goes by the way their coach has played and gone through his career. This is a team managed by Rahul Dravid. And one of the schools of thought he's brought into this young lineup is that do your talking on the field, and you saw that through this innings. Like I mentioned, batting first in a World Cup final, you get a chance to put incredible amounts of pressure on your opponents. But you look at the Indian bowling; they did not look to do anything outlandish. There were periods where Australia dominated play, but the Indian bowlers kept things tight. They were very disciplined. As you mentioned rightly in the read, while getting our viewers through the update, there were contributions across the board, which just carries on in the theme of the tournament for this Indian team. It's not a case of maybe 1 or 2 players doing all the damage. Almost the entire bowling attack has chipped in every single game, and that was reflected today again with 4 bowlers picking 2 wickets, almost everyone keeping things in check all through the innings.
Right, thank you so much, Yash. We will keep coming back to you. The latest update is that Australia 216 all out, and we'll see how the Indian batsmen perform there and if they can get the World Cup, this historic World Cup back home.